I'm doing might be a little abnormal, but I always have food packed in my purse.
So you take care and bring your snacks
I'm
and stuff.
always ready.
Well, right,
Yeah.
because you got to be consistent. And so that's what we're going to be talking about. So, hey, everybody, welcome to Healthy You Wednesday morning.
Yep.
Coming at you live on Facebook every Wednesday morning around 8:30. We're a little slow sometimes. We're moseying in on closer to 8:45, but we shoot for 8:30 at this point. And so thank you so much for tuning in. If all goes well and we get everything up and running, we may be able to answer if you post on our Facebook Live with questions and let us know you're watching. We may be able to give you a shout out. We might be able to see that, but you know, technology, you just never know. That's what our goal is. But you can always come back and watch live later too. So if you don't have time and you just happen to catch this, please come back and watch the recording because we have a great topic today. I have Melissa with me.
Hi, good morning.
You guys obviously are getting to know Melissa. She's the manager at Curves and a health coach and joins me about once every 4 or 5 weeks or so. Yeah. And our topic for you today, we're going to be talking about 3 things that you can do to improve your health that have absolutely nothing to do with what you eat. When we think about our health, one of the first things we think about is food, right?
Food and exercise.
Food and exercise. And they are important. We won't say they're not.
Yeah.
They are. But there are things that are maybe even more important that you need to work on in order to be healthy before you even think about food. Food has got to get in there, but there are things that you need to think about. So make sure you show us some love. Let us know you're watching. Give us some hearts. We love hearts.
Yes.
Don't we?
I like them when they all pop up.
Share. Encourage your friends to join us. This is going to be a great topic. So first and foremost, I think you need to understand, we all need to understand the word homeostasis.
Melissa.
Melissa,
Like I said, when you hear that word, it's like, sounds like a paleontology or like a dinosaur era kind of a term. You're like, what?
And it's kind of like metabolism. We all have heard it. We're like, yeah, I know what, I think I understand.
I don't have one,
I
right?
don't have one, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of one of those words. It's a word that we hear homeostasis, you're like, yeah, I know I learned that in science back in junior high or something, but can't quite remember exactly what it is, all right? Well, it's important, and we're going to talk about it. So homeostasis is your body's desire to be a constant, steady. Your body desires to kind of just keep everything in check, consistent as best as possible. The best example of homeostasis is your body temperature. So your body desires to be a constant 98.6. Why? Do you have any idea why your body wants to be 98.6?
I do not.
That's okay. It's not a trick question. Most people don't. It's pretty simple. Your body works optimal at 98.6. That's it. Everything in your body works at its optimal level at 98.6. And so if anything changes from that, your homeostasis goes, whoa, something's wrong. We're out of whack, and it responds either physically, emotionally. So what happens if you go outside and it's freezing cold and your body temperature drops below 98.6?
Well, you just don't feel so well. You feel like something's off for sure.
What happens to your body though? What physically starts happening?
You're getting me this morning.
Well, what do you do when you get cold?
Well, I put on my coat.
No, but what does your body do when you get cold?
Oh, goosebumps, shivers, shakes. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not tricky. Yeah.
Like,
Wake up here. No, I'm teasing. You shiver. You get freezing. What happens if you get overheated?
Sweat.
You sweat. That's right. So your body responds physically when it gets out of homeostasis. And so what does that have to do with being healthy and losing weight and being well and not getting sick? Well, let's just think about it. We're going to start with sleep. Okay? So yes. So the number one thing that you can do to improve your overall health is sleep, but consistent sleep. So tell us about your sleep routine, Melissa.
Okay, so pretty average. I usually go to bed around 10, and I get up at 5 every single day. Some things can throw that off, sick kid, puppy that's got to go out, little things like that. But pretty consistently, I go to bed around 10 and I get up at 5.
Right.
Yeah.
And I go to bed somewhere around 9:30, and usually I get up somewhere around 4:30. 4:30 is a good number, give or take. Like you said, it can change a little bit. Maybe like on Saturday morning, I might get up at 6 instead of 4:30, but it's not a big difference.
Yeah.
So consistent sleep.
Well, sometimes I wake up at 5 still on a Saturday, or really close to that 5:30, just because it's my natural. But if I have an opportunity to sleep in, I'll go back to sleep, and then I'm more tired the rest of the day.
That's right, you are.
Because I threw myself off.
Because you got out of whack, you got out of the norm. Your body doesn't take a vacation. Homeostasis does not like vacations, okay? It gets us all out of whack. Think about it. If you go on vacation, you come home, how often do you come home? You're exhausted or you get sick.
Yeah.
You know, so many people end up coming home after a big vacation and they get sick. Has that ever happened to you? That's because your homeostasis, you did things completely out of routine. Mm-hmm. You were probably eating differently, not exercising as much, or what about if you change a time zone?
Oh, yeah.
Then now your body's like, what?
What they call jet lag, but it's a little bit more than that, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it takes, I mean, and I see that a lot in the girls that we weigh and measure. You know, when they come in for their coaching appointments, they're like, I was on vacation. I was like, well, we're going to do your weight, but I know it's not accurate. A lot of like water retention, sludge belly, different things like that. Just, it takes a good week for them to get back into homeostasis.
Yeah, it takes a while. And I know that you're hearing this and you're recognizing some of this. So, okay, so the first thing you can do, number one, is sleep. But it's about consistent sleep as much as possible. I know it's sometimes if you work a swing shift, oh my goodness,
so hard. I cannot imagine.
That is going to be very difficult. There's always exceptions to the rule. But if at all possible, you must go to bed around the same time. You can give or take a little bit, but around the same time every night, and wake up around the same time every morning, 7 days a week, as much as possible. Now, again, you can go from 4:30 to 6, right? I was just talking to Shando on the phone, and she's a school bus driver, so she has to get up at 4:30 during the weekdays. But then if it's a holiday, or if it's summer vacation, or this week is spring break, well, now she doesn't have to wake up at 4:30.
Yeah.
And most of us, if you don't have to wake up at 4:30.
I've been getting up at 5:30 this week instead of 5. I don't have to pack lunches this week. It's wonderful.
But that's just a little bit of a difference.
Yeah.
But what happened to her is on Monday, she slept till 8, right? Because she's tired.
Her body needed it.
So she slept till 8, but then normally waking up at 4:30, now she's not eating breakfast until 9. See how that kind of messes? Your body is like, whoa, what's happening? So it's way more important for overall health that we get consistent sleep, that we go to bed at around the same time at night and sleep until around the same time in the morning. And so like I told her, I was like, you could sleep till 6 or even 6:30, but you're going to have to eat your snack as soon as you wake up, because she has her snack first and then breakfast based on her schedule. So you're going to have to eat your snack as soon as you wake up so that you aren't off by much. Does that make sense? So when you wake up, how quickly are you eating something in the morning?
Well, I don't eat till about 7, so it's about 2 hours, honestly. I know I push it, but it's just how it works. But I eat a nice big breakfast. By 9:30, I'm eating a snack, and it's what my body's used to.
That's what your body's accustomed to.
9:30, I'm like, oh, I'm hungry. If I go to 10, I'm like famished.
Right.
And then I eat lunch around 12 to 1, somewhere right in there. Snack around 3 to 4, somewhere right in there. So it's within that hour span. And then if I have to work late, I usually eat another snack around 6:30, because I'm not going to get dinner till 8. I have to do that 2 days a week. Otherwise, our dinner's usually around 5:30 to 6:30, somewhere in there.
That's right. Okay. So are you getting consistent sleep? This is so important for your homeostasis to stay in balance. If you go to bed at 9 o'clock one night, wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and then the next night you don't go to bed till midnight and you sleep till 9, and then the next night, you're going to bed at 8 and waking up at 6, your body cannot find a constant steady. So it's going to fight against you in everything. It's going to slow your metabolism process down. So your metabolism will not work as efficiently. You're going to feel sluggish. You're going to be tired. It's just, it messes things up.
And sometimes those things are unavoidable, but for the most part, we can be pretty consistent. I always told the girls that I was coaching, I said, go tell somebody you're going to fight fat and you're going to bed. Because as we sleep too, our cortisol levels lower. And I'm like, the lower I can get that sucker, the better, because that develops belly fat.
Yes.
So I'm like, just seriously, go to bed. 30 minutes later, your cortisol level will drop even just a little bit more, and then you can fight fat more.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I see Jessica. Hey, Jessica. Thanks for the thumbs up. We appreciate that. That's awesome. So, so get your sleep. That's the first thing you need to do for your health before you even think about worrying about what you're eating right now. You got to get your sleep under control.
Well, because sleep then just goes in line for the rest of your day. If I'm tired, then what do I seek? I seek carbs because our body just naturally seeks them, I feel like, because they supply us with energy, even though it's like a quick, fast energy.
Right.
So if I am sleep deprived, like I said, we have a new puppy. And so sleep has not been the highest thing on my list lately. I try, but she has another idea sometimes.
It's kind of like having a baby.
Exactly.
There are exceptions to the rules. There's going to be times when you are sleep deprived, but we know what happens.
Yeah.
When we're sleep deprived, we're foggy, we're grouchy, we're miserable. So it's not something that you want to have happen unless you have a new puppy or a new baby or something,
sick kid or something like that.
Sick kid, something that's an exception to the rule. There's always exceptions, but we're talking about consistency.
Yeah, but when I was going through that stage, which she's doing much better, I was craving carbs more. I was like, I am too tired to work out. I would do it anyways, but my workouts wouldn't have quite the drive. It just affected my overall entire day, like how motivated I was to do something, my food choices, everything. It just was the backbone to how my day went.
That's right. Okay, so number one, sleep, get consistent sleep. And most adults need a minimum of 7 hours. And there are ways that you can start to learn how to sleep better, that you can learn how to sleep longer. It's possible. It is possible. You can retrain yourself, but it is a behavior change.
Yeah, going back like 15 minutes each night.
Yeah, there's just
little bit by little bit
of behavior. Okay, so the second thing, water. Now, I have to share my own personal experience because Melissa, here lately, I have just been feeling terrible. And I have had no energy, like even taking naps. Like in the last few weeks, I've even probably taken 2 or 3 naps. Never take naps. I'm running sluggish. I can't keep up with my running buddies. I'm winded, just exhausted. And to the point that I got a little nervous. I'm like, is something really wrong? So it triggered me to start kind of looking into what's happening, my symptoms. And guess what? I found
dehydration.
Yes. Every symptom I had came right back to dehydration. Now, it could be something really worse, but we won't go down that path. We're just going to stick with the dehydration, right? Yeah. So that's most likely what it is. And I'm sure it's what it is because 3 days into making sure I'm drinking all the water, and I mean measuring, making sure I'm drinking all of my water, I feel better already.
Yeah.
Totally feel better already. It's amazing. And we're talking about hydration at Curves this week.
Yep, we have our water challenge going all month, which is, first the girls are like, what? You want me to do what?
I know.
And I'm like, yeah, you want to drink half your body weight in water. They're like, I will never leave the bathroom. I was like, well, we'll get there. Let's talk about how we're going to do that. Because they're like, you want me to do what?
I know. Okay, so here's the goal. The goal is that your ultimate goal, and now, again, there's exceptions to the rule, okay? So I'm not giving you a prescription here. We're not telling you. You need to talk to your doctor, make sure. There are always exceptions to the rule. But generally speaking, the best information that I can find is the average person needs half their body weight in ounces in water. That's quite a bit of water for us. So you might say, I drink plenty of water. What does that really mean? Plenty of water. Is that 2 bottles, 3 bottles? How many bottles do you really need? So for me, just half my body weight is 78 ounces.
Yeah.
I need 78 ounces of water just to stay hydrated. Now, that doesn't take into consideration my running, exercise, my coffee intake, or a glass of wine at night, or those things that cause extra dehydration on your body that you have to add more water.
Yes. Yeah, because coffee is actually a diuretic. So they say for every cup of coffee you drink, you have to add an extra 8 ounces of water. So if you're drinking on an average, or your average person drinks, 2 cups of coffee in the morning?
Yeah.
So now you got to bump that 78 up to 90?
Yeah.
90 ounces?
I'm assuming based on my exercise activity level and based on my coffee intake and based on if I have some wine every now and then, I probably should have a good
100?
90 to 100 ounces of water a day,
Yeah.
which this is 32 ounces. This is 32 ounces here. So 3 of these would be what I need, right? So 30, 60, 90, 2, 4, 6. 3 of these would be 96 ounces.
Which is usually not a problem, but where I find myself failing in that occasionally, again, not staying on that steady pattern, is one when it's cold out. Because
Yes.
sometimes the last thing
Which
I
is-
want is water. I
right.
want a cup of nice warm coffee just because it's comforting because I'm freezing.
Right.
Or the weekends because we're pretty regimented during the week. We have our work schedule. We pack our lunch, our snacks, all that stuff. We get our water in. But then the weekend and everything gets kind of thrown off. You're traveling, so you don't want to have to stop every few miles, to use the restroom. Or you just are off whack in general.
Yeah.
And then on Monday, you feel like garbage because you're dehydrated because Saturday and Sunday you didn't get your water intake in, your food was all off, and it takes you till about Wednesday till you're feeling normal again.
Yes. And so let's come back to homeostasis. Remember, your body likes to be a constant steady. It doesn't like drastic change. And if you put drastic change on it, it will respond physically or emotionally. So just like you shiver when you get cold, if you are dehydrated or in one day you drink a gallon of water and then the next day you don't drink any water, your body is going to respond physically or emotionally. So when it comes to your water, just like sleep, you have to be consistent. You cannot go from drinking one 16-ounce bottle of water a day to a gallon a day. Your body will just wash everything out and just push that water out, which is why you will run to the bathroom often when you initially start drinking
You
a
might
lot
even
of water.
feel a little nauseous if you try to push it too quick, to
much,
get
too
that.
fast. Yeah.
Exactly. And then I do have a lot of ladies who they feel waterlogged in general is
yes.
what they say. And so you have to do it nice and slow. Reintroduce an extra 8 ounces a day for, a week. And then the next week, another 8 ounces. And then the next week, another 8 ounces till ultimately you build up. And that's what we're doing over at Curves.
Yeah.
We want our girls the first week, if they're not at 64 ounces yet, to have a minimum of 64 ounces. And then every week build up until they are at half their body weight by the end of the month.
Right. So
and then
make
we're going
it
to
a
raffle a
30-day
prize.
goal. Yay.
Yeah.
And make it a 30-day goal. So how much water are you drinking now? So that's what you need to know. And you need to do this real. You need to be real with yourself, which is what I did on Sunday. I'm like, how much water am I really drinking in a day? When I started realizing, hey, maybe I could be dehydrated. And I realized that actually, guess how much water I was drinking in a day?
Probably 64.
Some days, maybe.
Yeah.
But I probably only been drinking consistently about 50 ounces a day.
Oh, wow.
And I thought I drank a lot of water, so all I drink is water. I
Yeah.
don't drink anything else during the day but water, coffee in the morning. But, all during the day, all I drink is water. So I thought I was drinking plenty of water. And when I really measured it on Sunday, I realized I'm like, holy cow, I'm half of what I should be drinking. So I changed that right away And within 3 days, I'm already feeling better.
And with the water intake too, I did let some of our girls know some things that when I looked it up, that constitute as a hydrating fluid.
Oh, yeah,
You can
yeah.
do like broths.
Yes.
So if you have like a soup or something, you can get about 8 ounces of a hydrating fluid in that. Green tea, big hydration, but not regular tea. That is more of a diuretic. You could do like an herbal tea that is more of a hydration. So looking at little things like that, infusing their water.
Like cucumbers or lemon.
Exactly. Using some essential oils in water just to mix it up a little bit, because they're like, I don't like water. What do I do? So those are a few different ways you can get a little bit more water in. And so when they looked at it in that light, they were like, oh, well, I do get a lot more than what I guess I think I do, but I'm still not there yet.
Right.
Yeah.
So your goal is half your body weight in water, and you need to see where you are right now. You need to take a normal day, measure your water, and see how much you're drinking. And then from there, start to increase. And give an increase every single week. That'll end you up at the end of 30 days drinking half your body weight in water. Now, again, coming back to the homeostasis, initially, so Monday, when I started guzzling more water, I was running to the bathroom all day Monday. I was running to the bathroom a lot yesterday, but already today, it's starting to balance out. So that's just your homeostasis. That's just your body responding, going, what the heck is happening here?
Yeah.
I'm not used to drinking this much water. And when that happens, and your body just does what it would do, which is flush it out. So you run to the bathroom. But once your body recognizes that this is becoming the norm, now your body will reacclimate to that norm, and it'll start using that fluid and that water to hydrate your body, and it'll only push out what it's not using.
Yeah.
And your body is 60% water.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And being dehydrated can cause so many things, not just being tired or just not feeling well. I mean, your skin can get dull. Like my wrinkles show a lot more when I'm dehydrated.
Your face gets dry. Mine were too. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm getting old. I kept seeing all these wrinkles. I was looking in the mirror and I'm like, oh, what's happening to me? I'm like, it's all this water.
I know, exactly. It has so many good benefits for you. It affects our memory.
Yes.
And just how we comprehend things, our concentration, it just goes into a ripple effect of things. I was noticing a few weeks ago, I was getting leg cramps. I'm like, why am I getting leg cramps? This is really weird. And again, I probably wasn't getting enough water that week.
Yeah.
And then another sign that my body shows me is when I'm out running, I get like a pull, like right across here.
Yeah.
And I know I'm dehydrated the second I start to feel that. And so I go back and I really bump up my water intake, which I have to do when I'm running.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And if you're adding exercise, you absolutely have to bump it up.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid that you're going to run to the bathroom. Initially, you will, but it will bounce out once your body is acclimated. And I want to just, one real quick thing on a final note. We take the average, most people say, 64 ounces of water. Well, that's okay for the average person, but you know where they get that from, right? So if you take 64, and what is that, about 130 pounds for the average woman? And they're taking an average weight. So if you cannot compare, if you weigh, 150, 200, 250, or even 300 pounds, your body needs more water. The more you weigh, the more water you need, or you will get dehydrated quicker.
Yeah, everything's individualized. I mean, if you go back to the based on a 2,000 calorie a day diet,
Right.
Well, shoot, if I listened to that, my weight would just keep creeping up and creeping up and creeping up, because my BMR is like 1,400 and something,
Yeah.
Without exercise. So, man, if I ate 2,000 calories a day without exercising, that would be a problem.
We should talk about, that's a good topic for next time, talking about our BMR, our basal metabolic rate, and just kind of reminding everybody about metabolism and helping them understand how many calories they burn.
Oh, that's a tricky one.
So important to understand. Okay, so we got number 1 is sleep. Number 2 is your water intake. And your goal is to ultimately get to half your body weight in water. You can do it, just do it gradually over a 30-day window. Now, there's exceptions to every rule. Listen to your body.
Listen to your doctor.
Listen to your doctor
Yeah.
or your health coach or your trainer, and get good information and just see how you feel. But I guarantee you, when you get hydrated, if you're having any kind of symptoms like headaches, dizziness, not sleeping well, tired, exhaustion, muscle cramps,
rule out hydration first.
Rule out hydration first and see how you start feeling. It's really amazing. Okay, we only have a few minutes left, and I really want to talk about this too, because we're talking about homeostasis, we're talking about consistency, making sure we do things that we don't shock our body and do drastic changes, consistent in our sleep, consistent in our water. We have to be consistent in how often we're eating and when. And that is huge. You do a good job explaining that, Melissa, because you eat like every
I eat
couple
about
hours.
6 times a day, sometimes 5, but usually 6, because I am up from 5 in the morning till about 10 o'clock at night. So if I am eating every 2 to 3 hours like I'm supposed to be, I am pretty regimented because my homeostasis is right there. So I get up at 5, I eat about 7, I eat again around 9:30 till 10:30, again around 12:30 till 1:30, somewhere right in there, 3:30 to 4:30, and just ripple effects.
Right.
And it just keeps going. And my body lets me know, like all of a sudden I'll be out on the circuit. And I'm like, and I'll look at the clock and sure as could be, it's time. Like I am so regimented now.
Right.
Wasn't, but now I am. And it's just a game changer for how I feel. It keeps my blood sugar nice and stable. So you're not like on an emotional roller coaster. Then when I do go too long without eating, because that is an occasion, very rare, because I always have snacks in my purse.
Sure.
Then I just feel like I can't get enough to eat because I've gone over that window, But if I do eat often, then I don't feel like I need to just go to the buffet and get my money's worth kind of, feeling.
Sure. That's right. So eat often. So you're eating at like 7, 9:30 to 10, 12:30 to 1, 3 to 4, and between 6 and 7 at night.
Yeah.
Generally speaking.
Yeah.
And that's about what I do. I'm eating breakfast probably around 6:30 or 7, and then a snack at 10, lunch at like 12-ish, between 12 and 1 at the late. Usually 1's a little late. I'm eating by 12:30 almost every day. And then a snack again around 3. And then dinner around 6 or 7 every single day.
Yeah.
Consistently, 7 days a week. Consistent is weekend too. And I think, guys, that's what happens to us. We do okay during the week, and then we just throw it all away on the weekend. And it is the weekend, and maybe you go, well, it's just one day. I'm going to have some, something I like today. I get it, but your homeostasis doesn't like taking vacations.
Yeah, and you can, but you still got to try to balance it out. I heard this little cool thing. It says, your weekend is your weekend. Because it's like a hamster wheel, and I was on that hamster wheel forever. It's like Monday through Friday, water was in, food was in, I watched everything I ate. Then Saturday and Sunday, it's the weekend. So I would maybe lose 2 pounds Monday through Friday, gain 2 pounds Saturday, Sunday, and I'm like,
start Monday
it
back.
was just such a hamster wheel. And then I didn't feel the best on Monday, and so it took me till almost Wednesday until I felt like I was in the routine, and then here comes Friday again. And it's like, come on. And so you do have to jump off that hamster wheel, and it is a weekend, and you're going to go out to dinner with friends, and you're going to have fun. So have fun, but if I'm going to have a dessert, I'm going to eat a really good balanced meal and maybe enjoy a small dessert or an extra glass of wine
at the same time.
Yeah.
Because it's about consistent with we want to keep our homeostasis as happy as possible.
Yes.
In order to be a happy homeostasis, a happy homeostasis is a happy, healthy body. How about that?
There you go. Say that 10
All right,
times.
I know, tongue twister. All right, everybody, enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. I hope you got something out of this Healthy You podcast today. Those are 3 things that you can change right away that will make you much healthier. Thanks, Melissa, for joining me today. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. Bye. Drink your water.
I know.
I'm like, oh.
Well, if I look at what I drink.